What is up, guys? Ronaldo here. Welcome back to the live stream. Always appreciate you guys tuning in, especially the like button, all that good stuff. What is up, Johnny M? Big moderator. Buenos tardes. Appreciate you, man. Carlton Way, #1. What's up, man? And what's up, Elma? So yeah, let's get into it. I'll just not gonna waste your time. Let's just get into. If you look at this 200, moving SMA right here, a lot of jumps, a lot of trigger waves, kind of forming. I like the 8 trigger wave on the 8 hour, right here, potentially jumping up more. You could combine this on some of these lower time frames. Look at that money flow. I think CryptoFace talked about this in his pre-recorded video yesterday. And I just saw he's live with Garrett Solway. I'm gonna have to check that out after. Definitely want to see what they're saying. But yeah, money flow going up there. So yeah, I think you got a good shot. There's the same thing that I've been talking about, that your boy's been talking about for a while here, is like 101, 102K, kind of that area. And it's taken its sweet damn time. We've been waiting for this since the end of November. It's going to be, I guess, 2 months, jumpward up to that area. And then we'll kind of see what happens next here. We'll kind of see what happens next. Yeah, 1 hour bear div. Playing out a little bit, yeah. But nothing too bad, I would say. Wait, where's the hourly bear div? Are you talking about? This ain't too bad. It's not really yeah, it's starting to kind of, that's a bear div or that one. Yeah, I meant back there. I don't think it's anything too bad, but let's look at this a little bit here. So if we look at the trade, I got trades over on a different exchange. I'm probably going to stop affiliating with them because, or I did stop affiliating. I'm not going to even say their name. They're not bad. They just were crappy with the bonuses. Like, there's no ill will or nothing too bad. Just the I was just, it's a lot of you guys were, or like, some of you guys didn't, their bonuses were, it took too long to give them and that crap. So BYDFI has always been good with the bonuses. BloFin's always been good with the bonuses. Check those out if you guys are interested in trading. I put this new one in, and I think it's going to do pretty well. It's about 100K position. It's about 1 Bitcoin here. So your funding rates ain't bad either. So I think in all likelihood you should come up. A little bit of patience, young Padawans. It's one of those times it's taken some time, but I think, there's some good, more, I guess, short-term, kind of trades you could try too. But yeah, there's some, if you look at like for example, just trying to get you could look at, 15 kind of coming down there and then combine that with like the 1 minute degen territory, but I wouldn't go short right now. But XRP versus ETH is interesting too, because that's outperformed ETH for a while. Came down a while, now you're getting a little jump. I don't know if I'd risk it on XRP over ETH right now, but that's kind of the thing I'm looking at. ETH, Bitcoin, we always look at this on this channel. Still looks generally pretty good. It's been boring for a few months, obviously, but yeah, right there. So yeah, trigger waves there, 2 week, coming upward. Excuse me, coming upward there. Monthly, yeah, everything looks good here. And like I've been mentioning, I do think that, altcoins as a whole, probably because of monetary policy, will outperform Bitcoin for the next few years, potentially into the end of this decade. Now, you got to know which alts though. Some of these are not are they gonna be like, there's certain ones of 2 cycles ago that never really did much in 2021, kind of like Dash. I don't know if your ApeCoin is gonna, come back, unfortunately, but we'll see. Polygon as well is another one that's been a major disappointment, but you're jumping, you're showing a little bit of strength here. Unfortunately, my guess here for this, based on previous cycles, based on, Fed pausing for some months now, would be a kind of this one's probably above its 200 daily, maybe not. Let's see here. No, would be a rejection from there and then coming back down, maybe up to 20 cents. So that's what I'm looking at. And then your Polkadot, I don't know. There's a lot of these that got major, major concerns here. Even if you sold, even if you sold in October, end of October, you still would be, it's still, 30% down from there. So yeah. What's up, Marco? Yeah, I think we're gonna pump, bro. I think we're going to. That's the That's the thing I've been mentioning. That's the thing I've been seeing. So I do think we're going to pump and a bit more, but I don't know if you're going to really see, you know, this year being a bull market year. I wanted to show you guys crypto fear and greed. So right now, this is okay. So it gets to greed. This one's a little bit simpler than that. I guess the coin market cap one is a little bit of the best one, but they changed this one. I want to look at this a little bit more here because this was 122, and you could kind of see that's price. Okay, so you could see fear. Yeah, so 59, slightly in the green. So this is going to get close to going into the greed, and I think once you're there, that'll mark kind of the top of this rally, this bear market rally. You know, unless we go up to 115 and all that. So, what's a good stop loss for Bitcoin long? Actually, I want to look at that quickly. Probably 88, but not financial advice, could easily get stopped out. So yeah, it's all probably game of probability. But yeah, I mean, he came down here. Yeah, it was March of 20. Okay, so there's not even that much. Gotta find more. I'm on like the wrong. Hold on. What was the other? Was it this one? Oh no, it was. I mean, I feel like some of these are just throwing darts at a wall, but if we look, this one's has a lot of data. That's more fearful than the coin market cap one, which is interesting. Let's just look at the maximum here. So you're coming upward there, and I want to compare this to kind of, you know, maybe beginning of 20. Yeah, see, April you came up. April 22, you came up to like 50. You know, you're at 28 right now, but you could easily shoot up to 50. And the thing that's comparative too is you're already at 41 on coin market cap, and this is obviously going to shoot up to 50 or 60 if we do, you know, break upward to 100K, and that could be around your end of this kind of this run, your end of this run here. So that's, you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just my opinion. Nvidia, just a few of these I was looking at. You know, it's always topical. I do think this will kind of reject from this area or continue to reject from this area. You know, I think you're going to get corrections. You know, that's my 2 cents on this. I think you're going to come down. You know, S&P 500 as well. Excuse me. So yeah, let's see here. Let's see. Why is my thing? Okay, we're streaming. It's a trading view issue. Let me simplify this, I guess. Let's see here. That's not good. Well, others trying to come up here, and that's interesting. What'll happen with this? I don't know. Sweet Avalanche Link. Yeah. I mean, I think the second part of that, Johnny M, is, I think, you know, second part of that. if you're wrong about the second part of that, I mean, I'd be surprised if those come back. The first part of that, yeah, I mean, should definitely Link, Sui, AVAX 2 has potential, but I'm a little bit, I don't know if I'd buy those at the moment. Link out of those, I kind of think is the best bet at the moment. So yeah. Ah, shoot, this isn't good. I don't know what's going on with this. SPY is making highs, but I think you may get knocked down at the next FOMC meeting. This is the first time this isn't happening with TradingView. My internet's good here though. Maybe I could. Maybe I'm gonna have to get it on the desktop version. I could try that. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me just, I'm on my other thing. I just want to see if we, okay, that works better. Good. Okay, great. Let's get out of this. And we'll open up our other one. Sorry about that, guys. So right here, and then, yeah. Okay. And we can kind of move this downward a little bit. around there. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Not too bad. All right, so let's kind of adjust this. Thank you for your patience. So others versus Bitcoin right now, coming back down a little bit. Hopefully you get a jump off of here, which I would presume you will. I would think you will. So yeah, if we look at, Bitcoin itself here, yeah, I mean, I think everything's going to come up a bit. That's what I will say. I think everything's going to come up a bit more here. Just wanted to, yeah. Make me a little bit smaller here. So yeah, that's the thing too. So you got that right there. Let's look at SWE. I haven't looked at SWE. I think it looks decent. Rejection from there. I think you get another jump up. I think rule of thumb, and rule of thumb would be probably about 50% downward from wherever we kind of peak outward in the next few weeks, next month, most likely next 2 weeks. So yeah, I would say maybe back down to these kind of areas there. Chainlink is kind of its own beast though, because that showed a lot of strength in 2019 when everything else was not doing too well. I have no idea why or how, but it did. I mean, it came down, you had pandemic, but then you came, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a good thing to probably have a position in my opinion. Ethereum as well, obviously. AVAX is the one that's a little bit of the most concerning right now, I would say, out of these three. I don't know. I just don't like the price action too much. I do think you're making a higher low, but unfortunately, you're back to June of 2022 numbers. So it'd be like Bitcoin at 17K. Not that great. However, I do think there is potential here. I do think there is some hope. So we just got to keep that in mind. You look at like AVAX, Bitcoin, some of these evaluations, not too good. However, yeah, it could have been the bottom, that October to end of September drawdown. So keep that in mind, or October 9th, yeah. Keep that in mind. Only way it goes up, maybe, there's that potential. So that's that one. And then if we move on to, let's look at metals a little bit. I do think they're getting close to kind of their top, maybe another jump up. That could have been the top there for now. Maybe another jump up, but we'll see. I think silver hitting major fib levels would make sense for this to kind of at least consolidate and then go down. With everything else, as the S&P 500 potentially tops out. NASDAQ is lagging behind the S&P 500, has not made a new all-time high in a bit, and I don't think it will for a while. Well, a while meaning maybe a year, but we'll see. It is coming up right now. The interesting thing too, I want to look at Berkshire Hathaway. That looks like it'll come down with everything else, obviously, but may hold up a little bit better, just based on normal stuff, based on normally how it does. But you got a new CEO now, so who knows? Looking at that versus the triple Q is interesting, I think. Let's see here. Still above those lows. I don't know what this is going to do. I would remain a little bit more optimistic, I guess. Yeah. I'd remain a bit optimistic on this. Kind of like what I'm seeing with the higher low potential here. So keep that in mind. That's what I'm kind of looking at. So yeah. So that's my kind of view there. Obviously our trade right now. Oh, where is our trade? Or my trade, I should say. Down a little bit, but I think we'll turn around. About 100K position, so oops. Oh, maybe the trading, maybe this isn't gonna work now. Oh, never mind. I don't even want to. Just go back to the, because I got the other thing going. Come on. There we go. there's that. The ones I've been keeping my, obviously energy, things like ExxonMobil, I've been keeping my eye on, breaking upward, potentially up to 143. Keep that in mind. I think when people get bored with gold and silver, they may move on to energy a little bit. That could definitely be a potential here. The other one that I've liked, Occidental Petroleum, seems like a pretty attractive buy to me, down about 50%. I mean, obviously, volatile stock, $42 billion market cap, down that much. And then, you know, I could see this definitely fighting back a bit more. If people get more excited with energy, maybe up to, you know, 57. This is one I'm keeping my eye on. So, yeah. Would be curious looking at this versus the S&P 500. Interesting, yeah. So it outperformed it from there and then down, but big, decent area. So that monthly, I do think something could happen here. I would potentially take this trade. Have a little bit of energy exposure. Oh, I didn't even realize that big area against S&P 500. If you're gonna bet that Berkshire generally outperforms S&P 500 this year, this could be one of those ones to buy. Could be risky. I mean, it is Occidental Petroleum, small market cap, but keep that in mind. I want to look at, I don't know, Progressive. Let's look at insurance companies a little bit. Curious how they've been holding up. Come on. Yeah, it's coming down. I do think that could be start of a drop there. I mean, that was the 08 bottom. I don't think it's going to be that catastrophic, not yet, but you never know. Weekly almost. That's been lagging. Curious about Allstate as well. That's been doing a little bit better, but I feel like they kind of follow, you know. Right there, potentially dropping down. July 23 low. Was that moving average? Maybe 130. I don't know. Maybe not that much. So yeah, that's that right there. Just thinking a little bit more here about, I mean, in terms of energy, yeah, there's those ones. Gold, silver probably will consolidate, come down. Triple Q, as I've mentioned, you know, maybe into the FOMC meeting, good, just like Bitcoin. But after that, I think it'll start to come down. Tesla's been down a little bit now, jumping, but it's because everything's jumping. I don't think this is going to 600 anytime soon. Bear div on that 3 week. I think this is coming back down a bit. Maybe a good buy, you know, anywhere below 350 maybe, you know. So keep that in mind. Clarity Act. When is that supposed to pass? I think towards the end of the year. I think when it does pass, regulation may help us out a bit, especially with alts a bit. So I think when that does pass, you know, probably sometime Q3, Q4, that's going to be good. I think Q3, Q4. So yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, no, I think that this is okay. 17%. Maybe we will acquire Greenland. I don't think it's likely. I don't think it really would make too much sense for the U.S. to be, you know, accumulating new land at this point in history. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. That's scary. I feel like the long-term consequences of this are not the best. You know what I mean? World executive meetings. Okay, there you go. Super Bowl champion. Still up in the air. Philadelphia could pull it off again. Maybe the Rams. Yeah, a lot of people are in the mix. Even New England. So yeah. Kevin Warsh is the new potential. A 97% chance of no change in January. Unemployment came in not bad, so yeah. Yeah, nothing really. That's a high probability for Vance being the nominee, definitely. Let's see here. Ukraine ceasefire. That's close. I don't think it's going to happen. That's going to be many years, yeah. Many years. So, yeah. I don't think there's going to be a ceasefire. That's interesting. I should have captured, just slowly capturing all of it, yeah. Anyway. Pump Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that let's do a little bit of a more longer perspective on this. You know, what could potentially, what I think will probably happen. Come on. 2 week, 200 SMA. I think you may hit it for the first time this time. Sometime in it could be Q2, but probably Q3 or Q4. Maybe at like 50K or something. You know, that's a pretty good deal. That's a pretty good deal. The thing too is I was on a space that Grant Cardone was on because Bitcoin, Twitter Spaces or X Spaces. He was saying this is probably going to be a good year for real estate. Now let's talk about what Trump has done. Let's talk about, because I think it's kind of a big deal. He probably should have done this a while ago. He dropped mortgage rates to lowest levels, you know, buying $200 billion mortgage bonds. So, you know, that's going to be good for things to come down. You know, people are saying it's not enough, but, you know, I do think when rates go down, there's going to be more demand, especially people waiting on the sidelines to buy houses. That's going to bring it up. Housing prices. Let's look at, you know, Miami real estate futures, the one I'm exposed to. You know, you got a deep wave right there. Even if that was the top for many years, let's say in 2025, you're probably going to rally some more with how this 3 week looks, at least a little bit. If you look at previous times, I mean, obviously this gave you nothing. That gave you a little bit, you know. It was 8% or something, so I could see, you know, from that bottom right around here, end of year, end of 2025, you know, maybe back towards your all-time highs, maybe. We'll see what happens. So that's that's kind of my 2 cents on it. We could look at Case-Shiller. It's a little bit more delayed, I guess. Case-Shiller home prices, ooh. Monthly's getting, yeah, it may jump up here, maybe. I would think maybe you got a little bit more up to some of these higher levels. That could have been the top, though. If it just goes sideways for a while and choppy, that could have been the top. So that's kind of real estate for you right now, at least in my opinion. So, yeah. But if you look at 30-year mortgage rates, mortgage delinquency, that's interesting. Right there, that's down, yeah, down to lowest points in a few years. Kind of looking like you may want to come up more, but I think with Trump, you may knock this down a little bit more. You're below that, yeah. I mean, when could you hit that area? A couple of years, mid-5s. I mean, maybe by the end of this year or summer, you can get to like 5.7. I wouldn't count on anything too insane. Let's look at a 15-year. 5.5. Yeah, not too far off actually. So we'll see what happens. I think we're gonna keep going up, bro. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep going up to 100 before we go lower. Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir. So I think mortgage rates could kind of come down a bit. I think housing may have a decent year this year, mainly because of what Trump's doing, mainly because of that. You know what I mean? I would say that's like 80% of it. So that's what I would say. By the way, guys, if you're interested in trading like I'm doing on, where the hell is it? Yeah, right here. Oops, yeah, right there. BYDFI is great. You got some good promos. Let me show you guys the promos. BloFin, #1 exchange, in my opinion, for no KYC, 20% cash back on your fees for life. Ends January 14th. Deposit 7K, get $1,000 futures bonus. So pretty good. Check these out. And then there's nice deposit bonuses here. Deposit 20K, get 2K on BYDFI. Ends on the 14th. Check those out if you guys are interested. No KYC, no VPN. 20% of your fees for life. If you send my link, check it out. Pin chat for BloFin. Man, so, I do think that, where is it? Yeah, it's kind of slight. I got too much stuff up here. But did I lose my, hold on. I lose my chart? No, I didn't lose my chart. It's right there. Good. Anyway, yeah, so we got the new video of the Minneapolis ICE shooting incident. Damn. Here we go. That's the same one, so. Instantly dropped to 22 basis points. Trump's got some got some play. We'll see if it can last, though, but he's got some play. So I guess the average mortgage rate is now down below 6% technically. The poly market one, though. The poly market one is 35% chance. How much would you make if you bet 1,000 on this? Oh, not a lot. There's no, they probably, it's pennies, but yeah, 100. You do, what about 200? This could be a good bet because there's not, you could double that, you know what I mean? There's not the, and this is kind of already going to be a yes, I think. Any point between, yeah. This is that's a good bet in my opinion. If I do say so myself, that's a pretty good bet to make. It's a pretty good bet to make. I'm going to keep that up there for myself after this. It's pennies though. You can't make much because there's no liquidity, but yeah. Probably makes it more likely to win though. Open long on Bitcoin? Yeah, maybe, man. I don't know. It's not financial advice. I would say oops, I didn't want to do that, but the trade I would want, I'll give you, did I just, well, we're going to have to go with this then. Okay. The trade that I wanted to, there we go. The trade that I wanted to make for Bitcoin would have been, or I'm in kind of, that I did take would be kind of from betting that we're going to hold this 200 SMA here. Be a little lenient, and you could try to ride it up to like 100, Great risk-reward ratio. It's a 3-to-1 right there. Not too shabby. You could try that. Very low risk, high reward. Obviously, you got to know what you're doing. Most people lose money trading because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, yeah, risk management, all that good stuff. But, yeah, keep that in mind. Is it raining outside? Sounds like it's raining. Anyway. So, that's the thing I'm looking at there. Always appreciate you smashing the like button, all that good stuff. Check out the links too if you want to trade. But there's some potentials in these markets, markets. Want to look at some of the crypto-related stocks that I think will kind of come down. People don't really say stonks anymore. Stonks, you got to kind of roll it on the side of your mouth, to pronounce it correctly. It's definitely raining. I like the rain a little bit, But anyway, so right there, trigger wave kind of forming, money flow coming out. Maybe it's true rose bring up a little bit, but I think this is going to go down. That's a bearish situation here. Right to that point, probably 67. That's where I would guess, actually. If I had a guess on this, probably like 67. So, not as bad as 2022. I don't think, especially with Trump, I don't think they're going to let that happen. But still, I think it's going to come down a little bit, Come down a little bit. Amazon, I don't know why I've been, yeah, coming up a little bit. I think it'll reject from those highs or something. Let's see what happens. That does seem like continuation, but if everything else goes down, you never know. Google, you know, obviously Berkshire bought Google, making new highs now. I don't know how much more time you have. I could see it dropping. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say. There's a trade trying to see if anything will happen with that. I guess not, but you know, not now anyway. So yeah, I think that's the big news. We look at Fox Business a little bit. I mean, kind of run out of a few things to talk about. Look at Twitter. I don't even want to look into it. It's all the freaking, I'm not even gonna say what's on there all over, but those modifying pictures by Grok is the main thing. Who Trump invited to the White House oil meeting after midnight? Oil stocks, man. Energy stocks. I'll say that. Best and worst housing markets for, yeah, I would assume. I mean, all these traditional media outlets, it's mainly boomers that read these, but yeah. Michigan, okay. Indiana, places nobody wants to effing go to. Yeah, of course. It's probably the worst market. Yeah. Interesting for. Wow. That's a big, yeah. That's wild. Yeah. Just nobody wants to live in freaking Michigan, yeah. That's why. I mean, if you work remotely, you could do it, but then again, like, why would you want to just live it outside the U.S.? You know what I mean? Save even more money. But yeah, pumped yesterday. What's up, AZTV? Oh yeah, been a minute. Appreciate you, man. I haven't heard about that one, but let's take a look. Robotics. Oh yeah, it's yeah. And the technique you could try for this on the next trigger wave here, you can buy it and then you could sell it on the next red dot. I mean, it worked not bad, you know, not bad over there, not terrible over there. It takes its time, but if you think we're going to continue the uptrend, yeah, try to get in now and sell the next kind of trigger wave to the downside, you know, whenever that may happen. Here, assuming it doesn't fall off a cliff, yeah, that could be one potential there. What's up, Carlton Way? Coinbase Global Coinbase. Well, already been lagging behind. I guess not a surprise there, given that Bitcoin has been, obviously. I do think you'll see some more short-term upside, or maybe even not. But yeah, probably more short-term upside, and then down to kind of some of these levels. I don't really see you going down any more than like 117 there, so keep that in mind. But I think it will, you know, kind of go down farther, at least in my opinion. So yeah. Was it NTCG? Okay. Well, let's look at all. Oh yeah, good. Thanks for the list. Let's look at all these actually. A lot of good ideas potentially. Intel is interesting. You know, I think against its like kind of net jump there. I don't know, man. I just don't like things that. I mean, it could be major consolidation and you jump up, but you know, it's kind of just like looking at these. You know, some of these tech stocks never came back from their, you know, bubblepop.com bubble pop. So I'd be careful. Let's look at this against the SPY because, you know, I think a lot of people's main goal here is to outperform the SPY, and it's probably gonna even look worse. Yeah, nice jump. Who the hell knows if this is sustainable? I don't know, man. I don't know. It could be, but I don't know. SLP. I'm not Not too familiar with this one. Drilling? Was this oil drilling? Energy? Okay, interesting. It's starting to come back. I think it could continue forward. I think if this is energy, yeah, it probably will do decent. Probably. Be careful though, but probably. That probably can do well. TLT, because of what Trump's doing, I think TLTs, you're not going to make much money on TLT for a while. But I do think TLT, like next 5 to 7 years, you'll see a big jump up at some point, especially during the next recession. Let's look at this versus SPY. See, I mean, just generally keeps, bleeding against the SPY. And that's what it may keep going. So I don't know if I'd buy this over the SPY at the moment, but keep that in mind. The other thing too is like for bond, what was it, AG? No. Well, you could look at, this is the biggest market cap for bond ETF. It's this one, which I think does a little bit better against the SPY. Let's just take a look at it. Nah, okay, probably even worse, actually, never mind. It's the biggest market cap one though. But yeah, it just keeps going down, unfortunately. But you look here, you'll probably see something similar to this situation, at some point in the beginning of next decade or later this decade, I would assume. So yeah. UPS. Okay. Yeah, I mean, big area. I think there is potential, mainly on the technicals. $91 billion market cap. Yeah, I don't see why this wouldn't come up more. We'll see what happens. It's probably a big bleeder against the SPY. Ooh, yeah, not too good there. Not too good there. Maybe reversing. You never know. I mean, it looks good. Looks good on the monthly there. So we'll see. The other thing too I wanted to look at was, I mean, there were a few. How'd this Circle IPO? I think it's down, right? Yeah. Ugh. Nothing, man. But trying to jump back up, so we shall see. That could end up at $40 maybe. We'll see what happens though. So yeah, and then let's see. BMNR. Okay, so let's look at Nike first, like you mentioned. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of these can, from that November 20, it hasn't recovered too well. It may eventually. Freaking Nike, it's the Colin Kaepernick company. Big area, could jump up. I don't think I'd buy Nike, but it could jump up here. Yeah, I mean, you get the yield on the TL. It's 4%. It's like buying the S-Gov. It's just Treasury, basically. 4%. I mean, nobody's getting rich on it. The thing too with yeah. I mean, the thing. Let me just let me actually look at. Well, we'll look at BMNR. I don't feel like looking at GameStop. I wouldn't be hopeful on that, but let's see. I mean, that's the Tom Lee's kind of drowned out. Nobody talks to him about him anymore or whatever. It could jump up here, maybe a little bit more. I wouldn't be extremely hopeful. There's just too much type and too much degenerate money in this, I would think. I would relook at this in a few months though, or mid-year. But yeah, so it's BMMR. And let's see. Nike is okay, interesting. Yeah, well, I think the thing too with the TLT, or let's just look at BND, I guess, similar because there's more bonds here. I guess theoretically it could be safer. I don't know, but you look at like big areas where it kind of came up a lot. 2020, this area. I mean, how much did this come up? If you were in the 15%. Yeah, no, not too much. Here too. Okay, 50. Yeah, I mean, but you get the yield. 4% yield. I think it will jump up at some point. But the thing too is like if you're in, if you got 20-30% of your net worth in one of these, when you get like those recessions or whatever, you can then your net worth becomes 50% of your net worth or whatever, or 60. Then you deploy it back into crypto, S&P 500, Nasdaq. Then that's it's a good long-term strategy. It's basically what the rich do, except they have this money instead of this in a hedge fund that does even better. So yeah, Keep that in mind. That's what they do. What's up, Mac Tommy Tom? Mac Tommy Tom. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at there. I mean, the thing too is like NASDAQ versus SPY right now. Let's take a look-see at that. I wouldn't say that the frickin' SPY looks too too attractive at the moment. You know, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, that's probably gonna come down for against the SPY a bit more, or the triple Q. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I would buy definitely SPY right now as opposed to the triple Q in my opinion. It's a trade I would make. So yeah, there's like metals and all that. I want to look at frickin' SPY versus gold too. I think you're gonna get some type of relief. I don't think it's gonna just go down in a straight line against the SPY. I think you're gonna get some type of relief for the SPY against gold. That's my opinion. Big area. That daily, it's choppy, but I think that's just still your bottom of April 25 there. SPY's done well. SPY's done well. Anyway, guys, been on about 45 minutes. I don't know what else there is to really talk about right now. I do think short term, next week, 2 weeks until the next FOMC meeting, we should be able to come up, fulfill this prophecy of 100K. And then, from there on, we should probably correct. I do think that, let's look at yields actually. I do think that yields slowly, gradually will go down. I think Trump's going to try his best. I would actually think real estate, this is going to be one of those years where real estate holds up pretty well, at least against S&P 500 and all that. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Let's get this versus SPY, which is something that generally bleeds against the SPY. You look at housing, it's something that generally goes down, but these jumps, even with the '08 housing crash, you still got those jumps. 22, I could see that was pandemic. Here was like 25, okay, a little bit different there, kind of choppy, but I could see at least sideways to, upwards, something of that nature. So yeah, anyway, guys, smash the like button. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in trading really good bonuses right now, check out this one, especially deposit 7K, get $1,000 futures bonus on BloFin. A lot of people really like BloFin, no KYC, no VPN. And you could try that trade I mentioned here, BYDFI, deposit 20K, get 2,000. So yeah, and then check out Breakout if you want to do prop trading, small amount. If you can get 10% before you lose 5%, really good potential. Link is down below with the info.